All right, before we move on, we should mention, of course, a moth. Yes, it is an insect, right? It has 6 legs like insects. Moths are kind of like, I just think of them as ugly butterflies.
丑丑的蝴蝶 ugly
Butter,
butterflies.
and
You're
also,
so mean.
Well, I don't like moths. They fly around at night generally, and they're the ones you'll see flying around lights at night. And that's where my moth story comes in. You know, finding out that a moth flew into a computer now makes more sense to me, because when I was a kid, a moth flew into my underwear.
What?
Yep, a moth flew into my underwear. And since then, every moth in my home has died. I don't like moths.
Okay, so
they fly in a weird way.
To there, that means was there
Well, I was a little kid.
warm?
You know how little kids go to the bathroom and you push your pants all the way down? I was like 7 years old, and the moth was flying around a light, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then it flew right down into my underwear.
Okay, so that moth decided to say, hey, bye, light, I'm going there.
I think he thought it looked comfortable or something. But
Maybe.
Then this problem comes up. What do you do with a moth in your underwear? How do you kill a moth while it's in your underwear?
How did you do that?
I don't remember. But I didn't enjoy it, and that's why I don't like moths anymore.
Or you don't want to share
I think I
it with
ended up
us.
with dirty, mothy underwear, and I probably, hopefully, changed it very quickly. But anyways, moths do fly into weird places, even computers. Let's get back to our article. Which computer did this unlucky moth fly into? It says the computer in question, or the computer we're talking about, belonged to Admiral Grace Hopper of Harvard University. Wow, that sounds like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, in question 这个片语呢，代表的是在谈论中的，我们正在谈论中的这台真的有飞蛾在里面的电脑，属于哈佛大学的海军少尉Grace Hopper 的。那我们看到 belong to 这个片语呢，是属于，这个片语永远主动哦。A belong to B。A 属于 B. So who did this computer belong to? It belonged to Grace Hopper. Who's this person?
Yeah, an admiral is sort of like an important person in the Navy. Not the kind of person you'd expect to be working with computers. But when we find out in the 1940s, this is a long time ago,
Right.
Hopper was working on one of the earliest computers, the Harvard Mark I. Okay. And it kind of makes sense that it's an admiral, because some of the first computers were used to help big guns on boats shoot a very long distance.
Why.
So that might be why the Navy, this admiral, was working on one of these old computers. These old computers were like as big as a building.
Wow.
Yeah, huge. Our smartphone is like 10 of those old computers.
The Harvard Mark I 马克1号 被认为是世界第一部万用型计算机。名字呢，则是哈佛大学取的。So the article continues to tell us this was a huge machine that did complex math problems.
That's right. These math problems were very difficult. They were very complicated. They couldn't be done by people with pens and pencils. It would take too long because the math problems were complex.
Complex 这个形容词呢，是构造复杂的、难懂的、费解的。This is a complex theory. 这个理论非常的复杂。I spent 3 days figuring it out. 我花了3天才弄懂它。So from the article, we know that the Harvard Mark I belonged to Grace Hopper. It was a huge machine and could do complex math problems.
That's right. And being huge or really big, you can see that it's quite easy for a moth to get stuck inside. A moth can't go in your smartphone these days. They're way too big. But the article tells us a moth got stuck in one of the parts of this old computer, so Hopper and her coworkers had to remove it. Oh, interesting. Hopper was a woman admiral. Even more surprising back in the 1940s, but very awesome. So, bug in the computer. Someone's got to get it out. You don't want that bug to, break the computer or cause problems. So, what did Hopper do?
She called this debugging the computer.
Debugging the computer. She removed the bug, the actual bug, from a computer. But that's not all. The article next tells us that the idea of a bug goes back even further, though.
Really? Bug 原来不是虫虫的意思吗 What did bug used to mean?
Interesting. Well, it says the word has been used to mean a technical problem since the late 19th century. So even before computers, people might have bugs in their machine or bugs in the system of other types of machines long before computers. But we know it's all about machines because we're using this adjective technical.
Technical 形容词，技术性的，和知识机器理论有关系的。文章中说到的 technical problems 就是技术性的问题。那如果呢，我们在 technical 这个字的字尾加上 ly， 把它变作一个副词，它的意思是严格来说，也就是根据事实规则来说。Although people call tomato a vegetable, technically speaking, it's a fruit. 虽然人们称番茄为蔬菜，可是严格来说啊，它是一种水果。
Yes, in fact, the inventor Thomas Edison, we learn, used this term, bug, in a program, in a machine. He used this term in a letter dated 1878. Wow, so long before Grace Hopper and her Harvard computer. He used it back in 1878, and it applied to all sorts of machines. So he might have been talking about one of the many machines that he invented or worked on, and, because he had a problem, he said, I've got a bug in my machine. There's a problem in my machine. And someone like Thomas Edison should know about problems in machines because he made lots of them. He was a very famous inventor, of course.
Right, inventor 发明家，注意哦，字尾是 or 结尾的。Thomas Edison was a great inventor. 爱迪生是位伟大的发明家。那他去发明东西，发明的动作我们说 invent. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. 爱迪生发明灯泡，那发明出来的东西，像这边的灯泡，我们说它是 invention 发明物。The light bulb is one of Thomas Edison's inventions. 灯泡是爱迪生的发明物之一。他在1878年的一封信当中呢，用了 debug 这个字，各种机器上面的问题都适用。It applied to all sorts of machines.
Very interesting. If we use that term to apply to, it basically means this is relevant to, this fits that certain situation. Often we talk about rules applying to certain types of people. For example, if you want to go to the bathroom, you have to raise your hand and ask your teacher to let you go. This only applies to students in class. You don't have to ask your teacher if you can go to the bathroom when you're at the movies with your parents or something like that. It doesn't apply, it doesn't fit that situation.
也就是适用于的意思。那接下来我们看到 all sorts of 代表的是各式各样的，那 sorts 在这边代表是种类样式，也可以跟 kinds 或是 types 来互相使用。既然呢是可以数得出种类样式的，of 后面要接上的要是可数名词哦。文章中我们用的是 all sorts of machines.
All right, so while Thomas Edison referred to bugs back in 1878, as the article says, however, Hopper's use of debugging is certainly the first involving computers and where an actual bug needed removing. So she was using it to talk about computers, but not the way we use it today.
Right. 当我们要表达主词需要被如何的时候呢 need 后面有两种的接法。第一种像文章一样，在 need 后面加上动名词。第二种呢，我们可以在 need 后面加上 to be， 再接上一个过去分词。代换回文章，我们可以说原本的An actual bug needed removing 会变成 an actual bug needed to be removed. Do you have more example sentence for us?
We do. We have an example sentence here that says, my computer is not working, it needs fixing. Or you could also say, my computer is not working, it needs repairing. Very similar.
And also we can say, my computer is not working, it needs to be fixed. Or it needs to be repaired.
Yes, all of those sentences cover basically the same problem. You've got a bug, you've got some kind of fault or problem with your computer, and you gotta take it to the computer doctor. All right, let's go to our For You Chat question, which hopefully is about computers and not about bugs.